Hey, hello everyone. I guess we're live. Sorry, let me fix a little bit. All right, I think this looks better. All right, so how's everyone doing? This is the new ammo of this month, and basically, yeah, a lot of updates on our end. Good ones, obviously. It's been a great quarter started. Let's talk about the quarter. Why not? I mean, since the first quarter of the year is done, so that's always a positive thing on our end. Um, and then we can talk about what everybody wants to talk about, which is the VKN and how is it doing and the economy and everything. And as always, I'll give you my transparent thought on this, and then establish like what are the next steps, because obviously there's a couple of things that we have to consider and acknowledge, and that's the macroeconomics and everything that is happening around it. But that's for later. All right, so it's a matter of updates. We entered the year very positive, as you guys know. We did the raise. We now secure also Polygon. We're deploying the white label for Polygon, same way as BNP. So we're gonna grow into the ecosystem that has actually captured a lot of eyes behind with a lot of different blockchains, in the sense that they want us to come in and start growing in their ecosystem, because they see that our application is very powerful. So on that, I also have believed that I have already talked before in some AMAs as to there's a lot of blockchains. Like every day, there's a new L1 or L2, but the application is one that nobody have pay attention. And actually, the application is could be the most important thing. Why? Because if you have enough blockchains and they all run, they may have a deviation of difference or everything. So the selling point between another one is, oh yeah, my one is faster, or I can have the more transactions, but they get upgraded. But in the end, a blockchain is a blockchain. So this is kind of like, if we want to put in similarity between internets, it's like, yeah, here in my country we have five providers. Why you don't have 100? Because you don't need 100. The problem with having 100 is the cross, like cross communication between blockchains, which in internet you don't have, because everybody runs on the same I would say protocols, so they understand each other when they run on internet. We don't have a secure internet for one single provider. That would be ridiculous. Imagine like you are in United States and you are a Verizon client, and you cannot enter the internet of Sprint because Sprint has its own internet. That would be ridiculous. Imagine the fragmentation of the world today as we know it, if there was not actually a World Wide Web. So protocols, ITCP, I think it's called, IPS. I don't remember right now. Sorry. So uh, what I'm trying to say here is, I'm just giving you a little bit of explanation as to why I think the blockchains are not. We need to stop building blockchains and we need to start building applications. And as we have been developing an application over now, company wise, 5 years, it's important to acknowledge that we are where a lot of people want to be, in the sense that we are being useful. Best use case, I don't know if we're the best use case, but we're definitely one of the greatest use case of blockchain, because we do reach people and we build a gap as to why would you run on blockchain. It's not because of memes, it's not because of gaming. Gaming has a great use case, but it's more complicated than that, because gaming wise, everybody has to run on the same standard to be able to upload your avatar or your GIF or your whatever into another game. So it's even more complex than internet. So I think that's going to take a lot of more years, but the idea is there, and some other use cases. But we were true to ourselves for many years. We wrote our white paper today. I had a client today who were talking about white papers, and we were excited about it because that was a main idea, right? What are you building today for tomorrow? And I'm giving you this explanation because it's important that to understand that even though the BKN is not performing, but we are performing, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. Business is running crazy good. Um, we are gaining a lot of leads, a lot of information. I don't know if you've been following our Telegram group, but I'm gonna request the marketing team to always put how many times we get hit on the news commentary. We have secured our space as thought leaders, and that's very hard to do because you can pay some things, kind of like, okay, you can pay like the media to get you on like something, but then requesting for you to comment on current news, that's not payable, because That's the journalists paying with their own, like, their status, the media status. And nowadays we get a lot of different call to action saying, hey, there's a legal, can you guys give your opinion on Mika, on Europe, or what do you think about this happening in the United States? So we're constantly being out there and getting called because we have positioned ourselves as true thought leaders, and that's not easy because in the end, you do have to have a lot of knowledge and you do have to have a lot of exposure. So that's good because we are out there and that's generating more inflow information. We develop our research report against Cointelegraph. I think that took us like 4 months to write it up, because even in the age of ChatGPT, there's some things that are not ChatGPT. Well, it can help, but the foundation as to what you want to transmit, how you're going to build it up, where is the data information, is it current? We build it up with STM, and we're very happy. Obviously, backed by Cointelegraph. It got deployed. It's viewable on our end. Please go read it if you have the chance, or at least have a glimpse on it, because that shows just our value, right? In the sense that that has generated more leads and more leads. We got a lot of clients from that actually. People coming is like, oh, we read the report, or we got a glimpse, and we thought about you understanding the market of tokenization. It seems like you guys been building for a long time. And I say, yes, absolutely. So when they come in and then they understand that ChatGPT didn't make it, that it's actually made by us, and we have the same knowledge in a conversation and written and everything, then people are like, oh wow, these guys are real. And real is a thing that we have to consider nowadays, right? Because nowadays you don't know if it's AI or if it's real. But Q1, sorry, I don't know why I said before. Q1 has been about uh, building, even though the market has not been on our end. We raise money, we close funding, so uh, we been working on the BKN. We still worry about what not today, so we do spend an amount considerable on the BKN. I know a lot of the community members out there in the Telegram, you should do more marketing. If I give you the numbers for how much we spend on marketing on the BKN, then that will be I think some people, I don't want to say, because then some people will say that's too much, or some people will say you can do more. So, but I can tell you it's a very considerable amount, the amount we spend on the weekends, because we care. In the end, uh, there's a lot of talk about the BKN utility, and it's like it don't matter if it's utility or no utility, or it's BKN or no BKN. It's an asset of the company. We have to respect it. It's what we are. It's in our DNA. So we take a lot of consideration in the business side of things, generating clients, tokenizing more, growing our TBL. You have seen it grow this quarter. We're almost at 14 million and a half. Nowadays, 14 million is just a number. Some people will say, oh, that's nothing, or you compare it to something else. But yeah, but if you compare it into the tokenization field against other competitors that are not RWA, we're top. Actually, we're very well positioned. Like I always say, like we just don't throw numbers; we prove the numbers. And it's simple to say or pay in the sense. Some media and say like, "Oh, I just gonna tokenize 500 million," and it's like that's intention. It's not yet action, and that's a very different conception. Because intention, I can tell you right now and lie to all of you and say like, "Oh yeah, we signed a client who wants to tokenize 2 billion." That's intention. Has it been tokenized? Has it already live? I mean, that's I can sell you the intention, but why then? What happens if it doesn't happen? So that's why we always rely on actionable and provable events. And our TVL has grown this quarter. People are happy internally. Obviously, this is our one of our stellar KPIs to see how much adoption or what is the rate of adoption on tokenization, how many clients are deploying, how many are successful, because there's no point in me saying that everybody's successful. That would be an absolute lie. We're a software provider. We do care for our clients, but our success is not correlated to the success of our clients. We're a service, we're a software provider. Whoever wants to use our software, they're more than welcome. And in case they do end up doing something publicly and raising publicly and generating TVL, that's viewable. And the rest, we have others that use us for other intentions, and that's it. So as a software provider, we cannot request more. What we can do is build up something that is stellar, in the sense that it has to be the best thing that we want to use, and it's what we build every day today. We want to build tools that allow people to tokenize, to raise capital, to be efficient, to obtain all the characteristics of the chain or of the chains. Because in reality, for us, the blockchain, even though it's in our blood, it's not the sellable point. We don't sell blockchain solutions in the sense. And this is what we are working very hard on our image, right? So we understand the hybrid of who we are, in the sense that we are a blockchain company with Web2 clients, we have a token, and we have people who don't understand blockchain. So we understand the complexity of playing both fields, but we got really good at it. And that's why we can say, like, we generate clients. I don't know if I should be disclosing this, but I'm very excited about something coming up with a new image that we generated, because we have evolved and we know how to pivot. And now we think that we should maybe step away even further from the blockchain-ness of thing, or the crypt, not the blockchain-ness, that's wrong, the crypto-ness of thing, because other clients are performing and they look for something that, even though we can provide, which is absolute seriousness, sometimes you get judged by the looks, right? So we're gonna go through through a process which is basically just us showing that we can play the game because we come from there, right? Um, so Q3, just to make it a big assumption in the month of March, because we already had two MAs. For us, it's been an absolute success. We reach our milestones on clients, monetization, partners, new chains. So on that side of things, we excel and we continue to excel. We grew our team from, I don't remember the number exactly right now. I think it was 25, 6 to 35. We closed the whole team. So the whole team that is now, it's what we needed for this year. And we don't feel that we're gonna hire more, but who knows? Maybe we need more. We're doing a lot of structuring processes internally, because now we have 35, so we need to all be aligned with the vision, with the product, how we work. There's been a lot of workshops internally, because in the end we are a company, so the company performs as well as its team, and we focus a lot on the team. So on that sense, we're very happy with the team that we have. I think we did some great hirings, and that's just going to amplify our potential and value. And that's kind of like on the B2B side of things, right? Now, before I jump into the BKN, just from a business perspective, there's going to be a couple of movements on our end, in the sense that we feel confident, and I'm just going to reiterate, because some people have written in public and some people have written in private, and it's like, yeah, we definitely going to consider moving, or we are finalizing some touches. We feel that Spain for us became very little for what we want to do. I love Spain. I have all my friends and family here, but we have to do what we have to do. So we're committed to the level that we have to make a movement, and that means some people have to relocate to a new location, and that's just to show that we're not here just for the sake of being. We're taking the decisions that matter, and of course, we're gonna be moving the company. We're gonna be some restructuring that we believe is gonna give us more exposure, and that's gonna give us allow to grow, because we just don't want to stay here. We want to grow, and that's basically the journey of a company. We always want more. There's no wrong in saying that. Actually, I believe that's what companies should be do. You want more, and that's people might consider capitalism, or they can consider wrong, but it is through that I can pay salaries, I can hire more, I can treat my people correctly, I can give bonus, I can give more salary to whoever deserves it. Is how we grow. The grow is not just on the company pockets or my pockets, it's the people inside pockets as well. So for us, growth is growth, and we have taken a decision that Spain for us is not the best environment, when we don't even have we have very few clients in Spain. We don't even work in Spain. Like, if we're gonna do a piece on how many people are the 35 and where they all come from, and you will see that I think right now we're like 30 nationalities on 35. That means, like, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. All right. But that's on that side of things, all right? So just before I jump into the conversation, which everybody's probably waiting, which is the BKN, and I know I have to bring the elephant out of the room. I don't doubt that. I have to. It's my job. Okay, I had a person who wrote me very detailed questions, and I'm gonna go over them because that was very nice. Thank you very much. Um, uh, the first one is already BKN wise. So, oh yeah, they're almost all BK wise. All right, so let's go into the BK wise. Cool. All right. The first one has to do with if if we did correctly in delaying during the bear cycle, because obviously we delayed not launching in the full bear market. And if he's saying that, how do we feel about today's market? Because obviously we took a decision of not launching in the bear market. We did it in that life cycle where we don't know what happened, and then we're today into 3 months of partnerships, right? It's been very hard to acknowledge how the economy of the United States is actually crushing a lot of things out there. So, how do I feel today? I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's nervous, of course, but it's not because of the beginning of the company. It's because I always told you guys that no matter what, how good you perform, you're still a part of the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is the macro. Like you can picture yourself in out of the country's economy. Some economies are better and worse. We can picture in the continents the European Union economy against other kind of how Asia is performing, or you can put yourself in the macro side of things, which is worldwide vision. And in that sense, I gotta say, yeah, whatever the United States is doing, it's actually uh, affecting a lot of things, and there's gonna be waves. Is it gonna be the end? No. Some people are calling it recession. Some people are calling it rebooting. Some people are establishing that this is a way to get rate cuts in the United States because whatever we think, like, oh yeah, the BKN or the crypto, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the shares, they're autonomous. They never autonomous. They're not a singular action or effect of anything. They're part of a bigger picture. The bigger picture being the market. So if this is to be a reboot, and this is um, Donald Trump's pressure to get some rate cuts in Q3, then Q3 should be marvelous because the Fed was not going to make rate cuts. And what does rate cuts mean? That if you reduce the rate cost, the interest, that means it's cheaper to lend money and obtain money because the interest of money become lower. So the less interest you want to make or get more money, get more liquidity. And one of the things that we have to consider is how much liquidity has been pulled out and put in other stores of value, like gold. Gold reached all-time high the other time. So that means that not only cash at hand is becoming king, but also some other assets that are not as volatile and dangerous. And you have to go and understand that where is the less volatile assets. Well, I mean, we know gold, silver, or some minerals or shares, they're less volatile. Like Nasdaq crashed 5% and people are going nuts. But also in crypto, 5% is a day or an up or a day. But we have to consider that not everybody is used to this kind of investment. So the what I believe, and this is just my opinion because it's important because I manage the company based on my opinion. And I think that we are gonna go for a reboot. It's unsustainable just to crash. We did 3 months that have been absolutely horrible, but nothing can go and spike down so fast as a depression. And I don't think we're there. There's still a lot of solid things, items out there. I think it's a form of negotiation from the president to get better deals on how imports export work, and he's reducing the value of money, making it feel like nobody's spending. And since nobody's spending, that means that the federal government needs to reduce cuts because he needs more liquidity to be out available into the market. I mean, this is just pure economy, yeah? Not inventing anything. Just Google or ChatGPT what I just said, because in reality, they will come to the same conclusion that money not in circulation, it's also problems, and that's because people are not willing to move just because they fear the worst. So, and if you don't move money around or you don't put money at people's hand, that means that actually the things start crashing, and you cannot let everything crash. And we can talk here about hours. Honestly, I love this subject because it's how we move. I mean, we cannot just do things not worrying about the economy, and we have to. So how does this affect the BKN? I think, obviously, being biased, I think the cryptocurrency market is gonna go into some difficult times, but it's not gonna die, because if you look now, not just at the economy itself, but how certain institutions are buying, even the president of the United States through its arm length World Liberty Finance and his family are keep buying and stacking ETH. I have to tell you the real story, right? That there's something in hand that we don't know. And this is what asymmetric markets mean, that the retail never has the same information as the institutional. And this is why the institutional or the rich people always become richer and everything, because they have access to information that you and me do not have. And this is why tokenization is important, because it's the first point in life that actually they break the barrier of the institutional just being able to invest in certain investment opportunities that the retail doesn't have, or access the same level of opportunities that the retail doesn't have. So this is why tokenization makes sense, because of today's market is actually the best market for tokenization, because money became expensive. The less liquid, you need to amplify the scope, and to amplify the scope, if institutions are locked, you have to go and see who's interested in the opportunities. So maybe tokenization actually, after this little craziness, is gonna boom, because now people are acknowledging that there's other ways of capitalizing, and this is tokenization. BlackRock, right? I think the other he's been more pumping than me. Like this guy who has years and years of running the biggest asset manager, he goes on television and says everything is going to be tokenized. And this is a guy who probably gets the reports of all countries, has more knowledge than a lot of economic advisors throughout the world. He has information that is prime, on time, real time. This guy probably is the most knowledgeable guy on economy just because of what he runs. This guy comes and says like, oh, tokenization is about to boom. Just listen to that. Or he keeps buying it. I mean, you got to follow the money in that sense. All of this, what I'm saying is that, yes, of course, I have to acknowledge that the big end is not trading how we thought. But then again, we know we're taught that we will be in this point in crypto. We got a very hard cycle and a very first quarter that is bad. The longest ETH has run on red was 3 months straight, and that tells you something. So this is a 4 month that is validation. Let's see if we're gonna break the bird trend and go again uphill, or there's a fourth month. Only once ETH has run on 6 straight months on red. That was 2018. In 2018, there was no institutional buying ETH as we know institutions today. So I don't think that's going to happen, just because there's too much money out there already from certain people who are not used to these levels of volatile. So you have to consider all of that. That's why you always take a look at the macro, not at the chart of your daily. Don't do that, because then that's scary. But if you look at everything happening everywhere, then you can make a better assumption as what's to come. So, wow, our token has been, obviously, some members have been scared, and it's fine. I'm not even gonna challenge your conception. I'm just inviting you to go further than the daily chart, because that's where you get the greatest answers. I can tell you the following facts. We just went through our greatest unlock, and we pumped that day, and we talked about it, and we acknowledged, and we were happy. But that's the community, right? That's like even the taste from different investors out there saying, okay, solid. Now we went through a back, because Bitcoin has been underperformed. I don't know, the pullback totally it's around 2025, and alts some 50, we're 50, and some have been gone 70, 80, 90, completely vanished, but we're not there. And it's like, where is the bottom, right? So we went from the resistance of 18, now we're at the 16, we broke it down, the support, sorry, and now the 15, but then we are there. And yesterday, like literally, I don't even know, and I cannot explain this. I don't understand it, because it's markets, and I don't know everybody buying or selling. The important thing is that yesterday the markets crashed and we didn't. Like actually, we stayed there. Are we at bottom? I don't know, but it seems like we do have solid supports where it matters. And are we gonna crash again? I have no clue, but I can assure that We keep finding supports. We keep validating other projects in the RWA are underperforming us. I'm not gonna say names. I don't have to compare. I'm just giving you claims that if you wanna compare the Brickken token, compare it against the RW vertical. Go on CMC, go into the category, go on real world assets, and measure us against the same. Because it's easy for me to say, yo, you should measure it against Bitcoin. We're not Bitcoin, but no other token is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Don't mix things. Don't mix gaming with RWA, completely different verticals. You have to measure things against it us. And if we measure things against we are overperforming because that measurement of percentage of how much we're winning or losing against other RWA sectors, we are top 10 easily. I don't even have to measure. I just said something without actually educating myself and measuring, but that's true. Just mention it. And if I'm wrong, please put it in the public and I apologize. But I'm pretty sure that we are actually doing very good with these pullbacks. Some our pullbacks have literally banished RWA tokens. Literally. Like I follow a lot of projects. I like to know what is happening, who's building, what they're doing, where they're from, because that gives me a glimpse as to how much is the penetration of RWA from a Web3 perspective or a Web2 perspective, right? I need to measure all of these things. And every day I see charts. I have charts all over my, and I'm saying, we actually doing very good. And then this is a key measurement. Like if you don't trust what I'm saying, just go to Etherscan, write BKN, and see the second biggest holder, which we had to tell Etherscan because some people say, no, that's a holder of Brickken. No, it's not a holder. That's the staking contract. Right now, we have 14 million and a half BKNs on a supply of 70. That's ridiculous. Like, that's too much belief in the project. And again, just go there, measure it. And then some people will say, like, oh, the BKN, how you had it was a ridiculous idea because in the end you wanted to do free entrance perpetual and free entrance out, so free in and out, and nobody's taking out money. We have some claims, but even if the claim comes, there's bigger inputs and deposits. So if we were to crash, it will say like everybody's withdrawing, thinking because we're not even locked. Nobody's locked in this community anymore. It's a free market. So whatever happens, we can't even block. Even if I wanted to do something, I can't. It's a free market. Everybody can go claim. Everybody can go sell. We have no control of the market. When you have the lock, it's like, okay, I know what is happening. These people are locked. I can anticipate. We cannot anticipate what the market is gonna do because you guys are too many now. You are thousands of holders, and we don't do anything. And people keep staking, growing, buying, because if people are selling, which is some people decide to take it out for whatever reason or to, I don't care. It's not my job to care. Some people come and buy. That's why you build the support. So what I'm trying to say is let's cool down on the bad beliefs that oh BKN is gonna crash. Because regardless what happened, I am a true believer that markets stabilize themselves by themselves. That's why markets exist. There's manipulation and whatnot, but on the equity side of things, some people, person jumped the other day in the community, and I strongly go 2 days ago, and he was asking about the equity value and what is the BKN and all that. There's going to be a point where it stabilizes, and you guys know the valuation of the company. It's public. We should PR. The valuation of the equity is 22 and a half. And when we had that valuation, the token was actually higher. So there was a divergence. Right now we have, are we going to reach 22? Yeah, without a doubt, because it has to value itself. There's a public valuation out there. It has to value itself because markets tend to adapt itself. Are we going to go higher? Absolutely. Yeah, because you have a lower. So that's your lower input. It's kind of like the opportunity is higher because you have to go in the range and understand like the minimum undervalue right now has to go to the same, and then there's the upside because we keep building. When we listed, we didn't even have the Polygon partnership, or we didn't have a lot of things that we have now. and continuous new onboarding on clients, because now we're shooting, I don't know if it's weekly, at least I see the clients. I don't engage with the clients because I don't want, I'm not an advisor of sort, I'm a software provider, so I wish all my clients the best. But a lot of clients are going live, signing and understanding. So in the RW sector, I have zero doubts with the fastest growing company on tokenizing companies' assets. Like, yes, Hondo. Hondo tokenizes T-bills, different thing. Hondo, great player. I always have respect for great players that are solid and not cheating. So they tokenize T-bills. Perfect. Centrifuge. Another type of tokenizing. We are tokenizing private markets, equity, debt, bonds, profit sharing, convertible notes, SAFs, safes of different companies, and we bring it on chain. Nobody's doing that. They just put it out there and say, like, I tokenize 500 million. On what? We don't lie. Don't believe all of the things. Just go to the TBL, go to the space. Don't fall trap for that. So, as such, I do believe that right now we are the fastest growing company in the RW sector. And even though our token is not glimpse of what the reality is, I don't care. It's gonna be. The market right now is horrible. It yesterday tariffs got announced by Donald Trump. It was crazy. I saw it live. I was seeing the guy on like what he was claiming, and we're gonna go through some hurdles on the economic side of things, but in reality, everything will come back because markets, there's too much money, too much interest. This negotiation of tariffs is pure interest. Are they gonna commit through? I don't know, but this is just pressure at certain levels that you and me don't even understand because we don't even have the tenth of a percent of information. Follow the big money, the BlackRock, Fidelity, Panger, all of those, they're buying. They keep stacking. They keep saying tokenization, stable coins, back keep the banks keep testing. They keep doing proof of concepts. They're opening bank accounts where you can have euros and stables. Blockchain is not gonna die. So don't fall trap to that. They want you to fall trap to that. Don't do that. Well, that's my recommendation. Huh? Don't, not a financial opinion. So I'm gonna end here. Really just want you to understand that I'm gonna do this obviously once a month. You can send me questions, please do so. I'll answer here. Am I worried about today's market? Yes, but I'm always worried. This is my job. I have zero. I cannot have a nice day. I don't know what is a nice day because tomorrow the nice day might not even exist. So what I like to do is just work and focus on working. We did good with the bear market, and I'll double down. I'm very happy. I'm very proud on this team that we committed not to list, even though a lot of pressure was happening. Because against the market, there was no opportunity. If we would have list, we probably would have lost money. We losing money, losing €1, €2, 1,000, 10,000 means less tools to build. So if we have to do something, make sure that we're gonna do it when we're 100% certain. And we didn't list, and no effect would have happened on the BKN. We would have been valued the same, or maybe worse, because liquidity would have fragmented across different states. So we don't know. It could have been good. Yes, it could have been worse. Let's consider that because people say like, oh, you should list. Yeah, follow all the listings on Binance. It's ridiculous what is happening in the space. So why take the why take the risk? You have to value risk. Risk could be X amount plus everything that comes afterwards. So no, I'm not gonna list if I don't feel comfortable. And I'm committing to you at least when I feel comfortable, when the company feels comfortable. When is that? When we see a change in tendency. Because we follow charts. We literally have a guy here in this company who analyzes markets. Like that's how much we worry. We don't do things randomly. And we have somebody commenting on going to and giving us a glimpse on the future. Everybody studies, everybody reads. We're not going to take a decision that is not going to be worth it for you and for me. Because forget about it. I'm also a token holder. Do you think I don't want to list? Like, just put yourself into perspective. Like, why wouldn't I want to list? I'm also a token holder. I also want to see you grow. I'm not gonna sell. That's a commitment because I love this project. But dude, I just want to see my wallet grow. Why not? Why wouldn't I do that for myself and not for you? we're the same here. We're in the same field. We're in the same field. So I do want to listen. I'll do it when I have to, and I have my opinion when I have to, because then I'll be sure. We'll be sure, and then we'll commit to it. If it's good or bad, at least we will make sure that when that decision is taken, we are sure of it. And that's a better percentage of winning than doing something when you know you don't have to and you're pressured by third parties, by you guys. And you can pressure me, but don't, I'm not gonna fall trap that I have to. I don't have to. I have to do the best for this company, and I want you to know that regardless of the noise, every day I make sure that I sleep knowing that I made the best decision for the company, and that's it. So, do we have new ideas on the BKN utility? Yes. Do we want to? It's more about the investment cycle. It's more about giving our investors some opinions. We're shooting some white levels now. We're testing new phases. So yes, I mean the beacon has to be circular. It's what we are, and we are also thinking about new ways to engage with our investors. Some treasuries. We are talking with some certain people about us growing not just from a tokenization point of view, but from a protocol and allowing our BKN holders to get a better reach at some expertise that we have or access. So we're thinking about treasury management, protocol yielding. So we are on the verge of trying to test different things because everything that we do or test, it gets included in our product because our product is very solid and many of the things that we included in our product were tested by ourselves, so we now feel confident that we can amplify that not just to our clients but also to our holders. So yes, there's conversations about DeFi protocols from different angles and perspectives, because in the end, this is what blockchain does, is just one big project. And we have, as I said, we're growing on the white level. We have APIs now. We're doing the SDKs format, so whoever's in technology will understand that you no longer need our full exposure of platform. Now you can get glimpse of whatever you need. Give us a call, we'll send you the information. So we're becoming very modular. Every client comes with a different perspective, and we are growing quite fast now. And we're deploying and sending products out there, launching, because we just grew the team. So yeah, we want to. Not only do we have the dashboard with the SaaS that you guys know, we have a white level, we have APIs. So with the product is becoming super solid. Like it excites me to see how much we are growing and how big our roadmap is. Because something that you guys need to understand also with roadmaps as to why we don't communicate it, because roadmaps tend to change. We do have a glimpse 12 months from now. We every year we sit down and say, okay, the roadmap does look like this, but on month 4 something happens that we have to change certain things. I don't want to get judged that we changed the roadmap. I want to get judged that we did good for the roadmap. And that's why we don't share that much roadmap, because they're like, show me your roadmap. If I put something and it doesn't come, and people will complain, and it's like, but maybe that was the wrong idea. The good idea is what we decided. It's not that we changed the roadmap to go to rest and sleep. No, we changed the roadmap because we had a better opportunity at hand. So we had to modify and adapt. A company that doesn't adapt dies. But I don't want to share the roadmap because people will just have a glimpse at the roadmap and say, like, oh, they don't comply with the things. And it's like, I want you to make sure that, yes, we make the decision. So I'll give you a bigger project, but how we get there, you don't know. We're a startup. People and companies change so many times. Then you don't know. But the important thing is, are you still generating new clients? That's the only important thing. Then no matter the roadmap, are you today generating clients and tomorrow generating clients and 2 days from now? That's the only thing that matters. All right. So I think tokenization is gonna grow to billions, and we're in very well positioned to do so and follow the trend, which when we started the business was not a trend. And basically now we're more than well situated, well known. People look for us because they heard of us and they wanna look in our technology. We have won a lot of deals from competitors just because they love what we have to show, because when we build this, we build it with the clients and with the know-how, and we started building, and we understand the problem, the pains of our ecosystem, and we were able to develop something that right now it's an absolute ridiculous project. Like, I would love for you to understand, like, hopefully I'm some client gives me the opportunity and allows me to record when they sometimes measure us against competitors, just so you know the gap between us and some competitors. So not about the weekend, I'm talking about the product, the one the client pays. That's where we are absolutely outshining competitors. And I'm saying this out loud, and maybe a competitor is gonna read it and they ain't gonna come. It's like, show it. Like, I put a tweet with a demo, with our white label, with our APIs, out there transparent. Do the same. Why don't you do the same? Maybe because you can't, right? So, very happy to continue this journey with you guys. Q2, it's entering. We have a lot of things coming up. But the important thing is that we're here. So, always happy to have a chat with all of you on Telegram. You can write me in private, you can write me in public, regardless. The whole team is super committed. Next couple of events, I'm gonna go next week to Paris Blockchain Week with our chief revenue officers. Then we're gonna go to Dubai for Token 2049, where that's like the biggest event blockchain. And we feel confident that we're not gonna go there more as passengers, but as leaders, because that's where we are in the space, and we have to acknowledge our position because RWA is a sector that, like every trend, a lot of passengers arrive, but only the true builders get to stay. And we've been here for longer than most. We haven't been the oldest company. There's another one. I complete respect for them. Actually, I'm gonna say it out loud. Okay, Starbucks. Complete respect to Gene because he was building before us and still continues to build, even through I don't know how many bear markets that guy survived, 3 or 4, and he's still there. And like I always will always have respect for the true builders of our sector because we're not competitors. The market is huge, and everybody's trying to do good. There's other ones that not even gonna mention because they're playing with the trend, and that's actually gonna hit them in the face sooner or later. Because when you play with the trend and you have nothing to show, then reality always flourish. So don't lie, just be true. So gonna stay 2 more minutes, and if somebody wants to throw me a question in Telegram, just open the Telegram chat, and yeah, would like to read if you have a question. All right. Well, I have in 9 minutes space with Wolf Crypto. We're gonna talk about RWA. I'm gonna put the link now in the Twitter. So please join us. There's gonna be a lot of people talking about current state of RWA, but I know the conversation is gonna quick super fast to current state of economy because yeah, yesterday the tariffs ate hard, and now it's time to rebuild because life goes on. So with that in hand, I want to wish you all a great end of the day, but also a great weekend and a great month because now it's April and hopefully spring hits soon and we get to enjoy a little bit of better weather. Goodbye.